and hello everyone. Thank you for joining this webinar. So as Derek mentioned, I work for the UNEP Division of Early Warning and Assessment, and one of UNEP's mandates that is core to my work is keeping the environment under review. So we do that through integrated assessments of states, trends and outlooks of the environment, or through analysis of emerging issues. And all of this requires data. Now, busy professionals like yourselves will understand that we can be bombarded with an almost constant stream of data every single day, and this overload of data is really making knowledge management increasingly more important. So this is why we developed an online knowledge management platform called UNEP Live, which is the focus of my presentation today. So just quickly, why knowledge management? Well, because actively managing knowledge enables better and faster decision making. It makes it easier to find relevant information and resources. It takes advantage of existing expertise and experience. It communicates important information widely and quickly, and it makes data and knowledge accessible to stakeholders. And finally, it stimulates innovation and growth. So what we would like to achieve with this platform is to spread the knowledge of individuals, of governments, and of organizations by making accessible national, regional, and global data and knowledge. So sharing information and growing knowledge is our goal. In developing the UNEP Live platform, we followed a set of principles that include open access. Everything on UNEP Live is open access. Data is managed as close as possible to source. We like to link to data providers rather than storing all the world's data on our servers, which will be technically impossible. But our emphasis is really connecting to data providers. And the data is collected once and it's shared for many purposes. So so this avoids duplication, and we can use the same data set for many purposes. So a decision maker can use the same data set as the assessment practitioner for many different purposes. So I would like to take you now on a quick online tour of UNEP Live. Okay, so this is the UNEP Live platform. The URL is uneplive.unep.org. So the About Us page has some information that will help you navigate through the page. But essentially, there's a few different ways of searching for content through various lenses. So we have different pages where we have global data. This is data from global data providers, or data that is available for all countries, which is why it gets into the global page. We also have data at the regional level. We have different regional groupings. And most of the data in here comes from partner organizations in the regions and from regional bodies. And then we have a country page for each UN member state. And the data on these pages comes from national governments. You can also navigate through themes. Right now we have 3, but we're developing many different themes with different data providers and partners. And these themes provide specific information on the areas mentioned. As Derek mentioned, we're going to talk about the SDG Synergies portal soon. And then users can also search for a word, put in a word, and search for content related to that word on UNEP Live. So you can explore these pages at your convenience, but today I wanted to quickly show you some of the UNEP Live functionalities, such as the communities of practice, the mapping page, and how we can access different content through different pages. So if you would like to get updates on the content that we put up every day, every month, you can click on subscriptions. You will get one email once a month with a list of all the updates. We also have a page for citizen science, and a lot of the partners that are on this page, citizen science, we contacted them through the Iron Earth initiative and through the summit last year. So it's a very interesting group of organizations who do citizen science, and we're very happy to add to this list because it is another avenue for data and quite interesting for our assessment practitioners. That's what it looks like. And if anyone's interested in contributing to it, you're very welcome to contact us. So I'll take you to the Communities of Practice portal. I had logged in earlier. So this is a portal which brings experts together to support assessments, support negotiations, and we currently have 10 communities of practice with about 1,600 active members. And anyone in this community who would like to bring together practitioners in a particular topic to actively participate, to share knowledge, best practices, and so on is welcome to contact us, and we can set up one for you. So we have a GEO6 assessment currently going on, and this is where all the stakeholders from all over the world share information, knowledge, files, discussions, bookmarks, and so on. So this is an open community, but it has closed spaces where people in particular groups can communicate without it being public. We also have a mapping functionality. This is where all the maps that are in UNEP Live are categorized in different topics and by region. We also bring spatial content from other places. This is the Esri Living Atlas, different topics as well. And then we have a space here where you can create your own map. So all you need is to select a base map from the list here. And then I think I have I have a geo-referenced file here on seabirds, and all I need to do is to drag and drop that file with coordinates onto the base map, and I'm able to create a map very quickly. So this tool is available for all UNEP Live users. We also have a lot of indicators that are available on the global, regional, and country pages. So let me go to a country page. So you can see how we link to different databases. This is a link to the UN Statistical Division. So whenever they update their database, it gets automatically updated here. And this information we have for all UN member states. We also have something called graphs on every page, and that provides access to indicators. I think we have about 200 now from different sources. All sources of the data are shown for each chart, and users can download the charts in different formats and also the data. You can also compare countries. You can compare data from different countries. So let's try Egypt, maybe Algeria as well. So again, this can be downloaded, different formats, and the data is made available. So this functionality is available on all UNEP Live pages. We have other types of content as well. Country data. This is where data from national sources, so governments, made available. And again, we try as much as possible to link to the data source itself rather than having them send the data to us so that we can store it. In this case, Morocco has an open data portal, and so we connect directly to it. You can see that it's trying to connect. And so for each page, we have these kind of like thumbnails or stamps that denote the type of information that's available. So these are charts, these are tables, there's some that have maps and so on. So all of these are from national sources. We have traditional knowledge, we have web intelligence, which Arno is going to talk about, and then we have links to information. On all pages as well, under more information, we have links to UNEP publications. So this is connected to the UNEP publications directory, and so if it's on the Morocco page, it will pull up publications that are relevant to Morocco. If it is more global, because a lot of UNEP's work is at the global level, you can go to the global page and find links to UNEP publications as well from there. We have links to partner resources, so publications from our partners is also available. Latest knowledge. This is a section we update every month. So these are UNEP sub-program areas, but you can see they're quite broad and cover a lot of things. And so we try and make available the latest scientific information on this page called Latest Knowledge. We also have links to knowledge providers. So these link to websites of our partners on these various topics. And we have a tab for apps, which includes ebooks, story maps, and actual apps. So we have an app for the UNEP yearbook, but we also have an app for Noise Watch and others. So you could link to that from your phone. We have lots of maps as well on various topics. So here's one on air quality. This is showing near real-time data. So let's look at a point, maybe somewhere in India. This was updated today at 8:30 local time. So it's near real time. We have lots of other maps that are not near real time, but they're quite up to date. What else can I show you? So here's the global data. So you saw that we had country data when we were in the Morocco page. Now we're on the global page, and these are global data sources from various data providers on various issues. We've divided them into environment, social, and economic, and we have governance as well. And then we have specific content related to themes. So here's a theme that started last year and now is still very relevant given the new Paris Agreement. So this is INDCs, the intended nationally determined contributions. All of these countries have submitted them. We also have links to the emissions gap report that we published last year. There's a tab for non-state actors because they contribute a lot of work on this topic area, and links to projects that are relevant to this topic. So from every page, you can access the pages in 90 languages. So it's fully available in 90 languages. I'd like to now take you to the SDG Synergies portal. So it's developing this, but we do have some content in the portal. So the idea of the SDG Synergies portal is to show indicator relationships linked to underpinning data, which is visualized through maps and is linked to the country pages on UNEP Live, where data is also available for charting. So I'll give you an example of, let's take indicator, well, goal 8, indicator 8.4, or target 8.4. This is data that UNEP is collecting on domestic material consumption and material flows. So if we select one of these, you can see that it has linkages. So 8.4 is also linked to goal 12.2 to achieve sustainable management of resources. So when you select a target, you get the data. So we'll click on one of these. And so it provides a chart related to it, but then you can also click here and go to the country page on UNEP Live. That will make the data available. So we had clicked on Russian Federation, and this is data related to material inputs into the national economy, such as domestic extraction of materials originating from the environment. It also shows materials, exports, the footprint, physical trade balances. So there's a lot of data related to material flows, not only those originating from the environment, but also material outputs from national economies and materials that are released to the domestic environment. So emissions information is also available here. And this data set actually helps to monitor patterns and rates of resource use and efficiency in countries. So again, you can chart these. You can bulk download the data sets. And this is what we would like to do for as many data sets as possible. We're also right now working on MEAs. We want to do the same thing for multilateral environmental agreements. So the data from these will be connected onto a map, like the one I showed you on SDGs. And then we'll have synergies between SDGs and MEAs. And that's what we're linking together right now. So you would choose an SDG and see how that links to one of the MEAs. We also have a link to ontologies, so you can put in a term, search for it, and then shift-click to get the ontology. So this one goes to Envo and pulls up the related classes. Okay, and then on every page, as I had shown you, we have the Web Intelligence portal. And this is what Arno is going to take you through now.
So good afternoon, everyone. This is Arno Scharl from Modul University Vienna. My group was responsible for implementing a very specific component of the UNEP Live platform, the Web Intelligence part. And as we have already seen a couple of minutes ago, the way to get there, if I selected global, for example, is this Web Intelligence tab here, which opens this dashboard, which I'm just going to show full screen. And the idea behind this subsystem is when you do a review of the environment, which is the goal of UNEP Live, of course it should also include stakeholder communication. So not only the environmental indicators, but also what are people talking about these indicators, This allows you to measure the risk awareness. Are people in a certain region aware of the risk at all? It allows to support decisions, and want to use the next 15 to 20 minutes or 15 minutes to show you some of the features of this dashboard. I've mentioned stakeholders, which you see here. At the moment we have news media, social media, and environmental organizations, and we are also gathering content in 4 different languages, and we provide an analysis in all UN languages, which I'll show. On the upper left side, there are some predefined topics. You can select and deselect them to show in the trend chart. So mind you, what we'll be showing in a trend chart here is now not when I have an indicator, I am looking for, let's say, CO2. This is now not the CO2 emissions, but this is the number, like how often are people talking about this. So this is, these are metrics that are taken from online media coverage. And I can do searches now for a topic like air pollution, or I could do an search for Europe or Africa, so for a specific region, and then I get all the recent coverage on the region. I'll get to the other parts of the dashboard in a few minutes, but you'll see everything is synchronized. So you see a geospatial view where in the world is being talked about this topic. You see what are people associating with it. So that's the idea of this dashboard, to always give you an overview of the various aspects. You have a full text search box up here. I'm just putting the letter B. It has full named entity recognition, so it has persons like Barack Obama, locations like Boston and Baltimore, organizations like BBC. And I want to now present you, for example, a query on carbon dioxide. So let's look for carbon dioxide. I'm deactivating these other topics here. In the selected sample, so in news media, English news media, between 3rd of March and 3rd of May, this is our current interval, which, by the way, I can increase. I can also go back 4 months in time, and then now I have 2,000 documents. So it's also an archive. It's on the one hand, it's real time. You see a lot of content already coming in from today, but it also gives you a long-term view on that data. What's quite important is this list down here. This is automatically computed by the system. What are news media in the last 2 months associating with carbon dioxide? And I have things like methane and Paris Agreement, for example. If I just activate them by clicking on this marker, I can activate them, and then I see the share of voice, like how intensively was the discussion. And when you mouse over, then you can track really every day what were the top keywords associated here with Paris Agreement, for example, which of course in this case was the COP being signed. In the middle, so up here you have share of voice, you have frequency, the weekly frequency, you have sentiment, was it positive or negative coverage, and disagreement, which is sort of how polarizing was the coverage on the topic. And in the center part, here the search results. You see the search results in form of a document list. You can click once, and then you can also get to a full-term list with, of course, a link to the original source. You can drill down on a sentence level. Now I can see how carbon dioxide is mentioned, all the sentences that mention carbon dioxide. Because this is still a very long list, there are visualizations like the word tree. So this shows you how the lexical context of the indicator. So carbon dioxide, and many sentences mention carbon dioxide emissions or carbon dioxide levels. So you can easily track here what are the main threads in the conversation and how is this term being used in the coverage. We can also take a look at who is actually talking about carbon dioxide. Now we see all the media. We have Daily Mail, The Guardian, Washington Post. How often, what impact they have, so the reach indicator, the medium also by how popular it is, and I can also sort it by sentiment, who were those with most negative documents or most positive documents around an issue. These little gray keywords tell you what the source is being associating with carbon dioxide. So Daily Mail had agreement, deal, and lignin here. And The Guardian had ICE, IEA, and coal use. This list, you can also create a source map and show some labels. So now this shows you all the sources, like on the horizontal axis, who was talking most frequently about carbon dioxide, who had most positive documents mentioning it, and who had most negative documents mentioning it. Before I get to the visualizations on the right, I also want to demonstrate the cross-lingual capabilities of the platform, because now I've just queried English news media. I can now easily, and I've put in carbon dioxide, I can easily now add, for example, Spanish, German sources and French sources. And what is obvious here is the real-time translation services that work in the background. So I just put in carbon dioxide, and it did the background translation. Now it looks for coal dioxide in German, dioxido de carbono in Spanish. So you can really do one query across all these different languages and across all these sources. If I move to the map, so these are the top associations. So the higher up a term in the list here, the more closely it is being associated with my search term. The visual representation of that is this keyword graph. So I have here now the top associations with carbon dioxide, and I have shown them in a hierarchical figure. And I can also drill down and look at how are these subtrees associated for others. So you get a very nice semantic network of how a certain topic is being covered. So I can replace this in real time, and I can put in electric car, for example, just to have like a completely different, just to really show you that these queries all work in real time. So you can put any term up there, and you get the semantic associations. You have also here a control, a sentiment filter. So you could also filter by, let's go back to our main example, carbon dioxide, because it's an indicator. Now you could filter by, do the analysis only on the positive documents. Then you see in the geographic map, in the tech cloud, it's only positive documents, or do it only on the negative coverage. So this is quite useful if you want to really explore a specific indicator, a specific topic, and really want to understand what are the pros and cons, or what are the positive and negative things that people are associating with it. What I haven't mentioned yet, but you've seen when I was using the portal, is the tech cloud. And I have, for example, here methane. You see the translations that it's being using, and all these adaptive tooltips that we have, they show you can use this to refine your search. You can replace carbon dioxide, for example, with if I click on methane and say replace, now I've just triggered a query for methane instead of carbon dioxide. If I click on it and say restrict, then I do a Boolean AND. So I want to have only documents that mention both the indicator and Obama, for example. So I go on restrict, and now I have only those 238 documents that mention both the indicator and Barack Obama. So there's nice ways to do complex queries without having to do the advanced search. But of course you have also more control here. So I'm doing my query again. So there is an advanced search. If you click on this little gear symbol, it allows you to look in the text, in the title, look for specific keywords, lets you use various ways to combine these queries. So I don't have the time today, unfortunately, to go into detail here, but this advanced search gives you quite a bit of information. There's, by the way, a help button here if you want explanations about the various parts of the system. What I haven't shown yet is the geographic map. So I'm now doing my query again on all the 4 languages. So I have now all 4 languages activated. I have 3,400 documents that mention carbon dioxide. And I see in the geographic map, you see these trajectories. So these show you where is information coming from. And the markers tell you what locations are being referenced in the document. And as all our visualizations, they work both ways. They are used to render information, so they show you the result on your query, but you can also use them to refine your query. I'm clicking on Brazil here, for example. Now you have various functions, the replace, restrict, extend. You already know these. We have open country page that leads you to the UNEP live country page, or you can say focus on this point, which now triggers a query, and it sorts the resulting documents by proximity from your target query. So I have now my query defined, which was carbon dioxide, and I've sorted the documents and now showing those that are related to Brazil. Or if I'm more interested in Africa, I can click on Africa, focus on this point. Then you get a detailed coverage about articles that mention carbon dioxide, but also have a location Africa referenced. And then you can easily go through this list and look at all these documents, and you see everything is synchronized. So both in the tech cloud, the related keywords are being shown, but also in the geographic map you can track this very specifically. You can also easily, let's say carbon dioxide as a last example. Yes, what I haven't shown is actually now we have this query in 4 languages, and we're also providing the analysis in all UN languages. So if you, for example, click on Arabic here, then you get the analysis done in Arabic. So you get the keywords in Arabic, you get the tech cloud in Arabic. So it's still processing content from these 4 languages. We hopefully will be able to extend the number of supported languages where we do the content processing, but the analysis can be done in all UN languages. So you can now also get, for example, like a Russian, Arabic, or Chinese tech cloud or keyword graph on the topic of your choice. Neeyati already mentioned export functions. We provide them as well. I think I'm running out of time, so I'm not going through all the details, but you can export chart data, search results, your list of sources, the list of associations, all the diagrams. They can also be exported to be used in third-party applications.